welcome to the kitchen. I forgot to turn the lights on. You can tell it's been a while since I've done lives in my kitchen because I don't remember how to do them. So, okay, so here we go. So, some things to think about, know about. If you've never baked bread before, if you've never baked bread before, it's super easy. But it's alive. Hey, Heather. Hey, Joanne. So it's alive, which means that it's not the same every time you do it. It's not like a stew where if you put in the right things, you get the right thing, or a cookie recipe where if you put in all of the right amounts, it comes out exactly the same every time. It really depends on the temperature, the humidity, how fresh your flour is, how fresh or old your yeast is. So it's totally normal to have a great loaf of bread and then the next time have a total flop of a loaf of bread, and then have a great loaf of bread and then have a flop. So if it does flop, don't give up. Who else is on? Hey, Bernie. Welcome. Thanks for joining. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to do what's called a poolish or an early ferment. So we're going to take part of the dough and we're going to start it tonight. And we're going to put it at a low temperature. We're going to put it in the refrigerator and we're going to let it grow very slowly. And what that's going to do is that as the yeast eats the sugar in the flour, it's going to give off gas, and that gas is alcohol, and it's going to actually flavor the dough itself. So that's why long fermented dough or sourdough has a different smell than a quick loaf of bread that you're going to buy in the grocery store. Hey, Heather, welcome. So tonight's part is super easy. You only need 3 things. You need flour, water, and yeast. So I always use regular active dry yeast, not quick rise yeast, not, I think that's the other one, but just regular dry. This one is, I buy it in a jar because I use a lot of it. But if you were only going to do it once, you could get those little envelopes if you wanted. Or if you go to Costco, you can get like a pound brick. That will last me forever. Forever and forever. If you get a big one and you don't use it a lot, keep it in the refrigerator. The colder it is, because it's kind of dormant. It's a living thing. It's a yeast. So that's what we're going to use. You like this one too, Joanne? We're going to use, I use just regular tap water. If you live in a place that has a lot of chemicals in your water, you might want to use bottled water or spring water. But you could just use regular water, nothing fancy. And then flour. And so what I have today is I have regular King Arthur white flour, and I have a little bag of whole wheat organic King Arthur flour. I like King Arthur. They don't put like weird chemicals in it. If I'm not buying it in bulk. When I buy it in bulk, I get it from Montana Wheat. And I usually buy it in like a 50-pound bag. Unfortunately for me, my 50-pound bag of wheat berries is somewhere between Montana and here. It's not here yet. So hopefully it will arrive. And then I have a mill that I grind it. But regular store flour is perfectly acceptable. It works great. So what we're going to do is I'm going to turn the screen around. I'm going to turn the screen around. There we go. I did. Okay, so into my bowl, we're going to put 3/4 cup of water. And here's Sarah.
Yeah!
Yes, Sarah.
I'm going to take this.
You're going to take that, and you're going to show us how to dip and scoop. So use the back of the knife, the flat edge. There you go. And she's going to dip into the bucket. Go ahead. Because we keep our flour in a giant bucket. And then she's going to scrape it off without pushing it down. Perfect. Perfect.
How many, Mama?
Huh?
How many?
Just one. And go ahead and put it in there. Ta-da. Okay. You have cheaper chicken flour. I don't know what chicken flour is, Bernie. I don't know what that is.
What chicken flour?
I don't
Flour
know.
from chicken?
I don't think so. And then we're going to use yeast. Sarah, can you open that for me?
This one.
And we're going to use just half a teaspoon. It's not a lot.
Where's the teaspoon?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, where'd it go?
By the way, hey.
Nope.
A little tip. Okay. Yeast is mold.
It's a yeast, right? It's a living organism, right?
I could have brought this to science class if I wanted to. I could have just brought this bottle and like, here you go.
Ah, here it is. Here it is. There we go. We're very fancy here in our kitchen. You need half a teaspoon.
This one.
Nope. This one.
One inside or the one above?
The one above. The little skinny one. That one. There you go. Okay.
Full scoop.
Oh, Amy says hi, Sarah. She's
Thank
watching
you,
your
Amy.
video. She's watching.
Thank you, Amy.
Okay, put it in the thing. Perfect, just like that. Sweet. Now we're just gonna mix it up.
Can I do it, Mom?
Yeah, sure. You mix. Okay.
It kind of looks like pancake batter.
Okay. Now this part, if you wanted to do it in one day, you could do this part in the morning and let it sit on the counter for 2 or 3 hours just by itself. And then add the rest of the ingredients and go from there.
Wait,
What we're going to do is we're going to lower the temperature so that instead of it rising in like 4 hours, we're going to let this sit all night long, 10 to 12 hours. And it doesn't matter.
Mama, night is only 8.
It's okay. It doesn't matter if you let it sit for 10 hours or you let it sit for 12 hours. If it's in the refrigerator, Jacob is minding the dough. Oh, Jacob is making the dough, and he says hi to Sarah. So some of the students are watching. So putting it in the refrigerator lets the yeast grow slower, and it will make more flavor. So that's it. That's all that's going to happen. Here we go. So now if you can see, now Sarah, can you pick up the spoon? Okay, so that looks a little wet.
It's a little milky.
Right? It's a little milky, right. So
Add, like, one of these.
I would take 2 tablespoons of the whole wheat flour, Sarah.
Okay,
The biggest one. The biggest one. Okay, now here's the part where you can kind of...
No, Mama.
It's okay, Sarah, it's okay. So to me, because I've been doing this a long time, to me this looks really, really runny. I don't really want it quite so runny. Go ahead. It should look kind of like thick pancake batter.
Wow, that came out in one
Right?
scoop.
It should be thick pancake batter. But as you see, right now it's flat. There's no stretchy bands of anything, right?
Nothing.
As this grows, this will fill with lots and lots of bubbles. Yours looks, hold on. Yours looks thinner. Okay, it can be. You can leave it thin. You can thicken it a little bit. There's really no rule. I wanted to put a little bit of the whole wheat flour in it because I like the whole wheat part to ferment a little bit longer. Hold on. I'm just going to be very scientific here. But it is going to look like batter. It's going to look like cake batter. No, Sarah, let go.
Okay.
It's going to look like cake batter or like pancake batter. So I'm going to leave mine like this. And then I'm going to cover it. You can use plastic wrap, or if your bowl has a lid, if you have any Tupperware, you could use that. If you don't, just plastic wrap is fine. And put it someplace cold. So the refrigerator. And in the morning, I'll try to get the video done early. This will be full of bubbles. And when you go like this, there will be stretchy, stringy bits. And you can watch it. Like, you can look at it now. You can look at it before you go to bed. You can look at it when you first wake up, and you can smell it. It'll smell yeasty and very nut-like.
And it will get a little harder to mix as you go on.
And it will, right. And it will. So tonight I'll put the measurements for tomorrow's part. And tomorrow's part will be the same. It'll be flour, water, yeast, and a little bit of salt. And that salt will slow down the fermentation when you're actually rising your dough, and you're going to need it, and we'll do that work tomorrow. So I'm going to put the videos in the party, so that way if you're not...
Wait, a party?
Well, on the Facebook party. And that way you can watch it even if you're not available, or if you're not starting it tonight, like somebody might be able to not be able to start it right away.
Mom,
but I'm going to leave there. Just leave it. It's fine. It's fine now. It's fine now. Okay? So for tomorrow, you'll need those ingredients. You'll need a bowl for your dough to rise in, and something you can either bake it in like a loaf pan, or if you have a pizza stone, I will show you how to make your bread on a stone. Can you describe a yeast smell? Oh, Bernie. Yummy and delicious. That's what it smells like, okay?
It says something, what? Sarah.
Yes, it says say hi to Sarah.
Oh, say hi to Sarah.
It says say hi to Sarah. And I want to show you the inside of my oven because I bake a lot. I do have like a regular pizza stone, but, oh, yeah, take those out of there. All right, I won't show you the inside of my oven just yet. There's a clean pan.
Ow, this is heavy.
That is heavy. Right, there we go. Oh, I'm very professional, I promise. No. So now I'm going to turn around, and inside my oven, I have this stone. It's cold, but this stays in here all the time.
Okay, I can't reach it.
And so what I just do is I actually bake my bread right on that stone. But if you have a like a pizza stone, or you can just use a regular
It feels like pizza crust.
what do you call it?
It feels like pizza crust.
It does feel like pizza crust. If you have a regular loaf pan, that works too. And this, oh!
What?
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Sorry. I forgot what I was going to say. I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. I forgot what it was. Anyway, so that should be enough information for tonight. The book that I get all of these recipes from that taught me how to do this is called Bread Alone by Daniel Leader. And you can get it on Kindle. I have a paper copy because I have loved it to death. It literally, the pages are falling out because it is my favorite book, and it has a million ways. So this is my copy of the book, and all of the pages are falling out.
Every single one.
All of the pages are, no, let go. All the pages are falling out. But this recipe is the basis. Like, this is the basic recipe. And if you wanted to add raisins and sesame seeds, you could. If you wanted to make a cinnamon swirl bread, you could. If you wanted to add herbs and olive oil, you could. You could take this dough and make pizza crust. You could do anything with it. So, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and either post them in the comments, or you can put separate posts on the party wall, and I will answer them when I get a chance. So I'm going to go check my little kids into bed and have fun, and I will see you all tomorrow.